good evening, good morning, good night, you lovelies. It is the one, the only Cappy D Barra, and we are here to talk about a little bit of wrestling, all right? We are here to discuss AEW Dynamite, all right, January 14th, all right? I was a little preoccupied, all right? Wasn't exactly able to get to it how I wanted to, being that your boy lost his wallet, all right? The wallet has been located and everything is honky-dory, but let's be honest, really put a fucking hiccup in my night, all right? Wasn't great. Next thing that we are going to be discussing, all right, the one, the only Powerhouse Hobbs is going to the Federation, all right? A moment of silence for our brother. Now, I don't know if this is actually going to happen. Hopefully he goes to New Japan Wrestling, the NWA. I don't know, but all I do know is that the Federation is not good for black talent. I mean, you can look at Montez Ford, you can look at somebody who's been fucking trapped in developmental for 5 years, and Trick Williams. The things that they do to make black talent work twice as hard just to get half of the recognition. I don't know, man. I don't know. And like, again, like there is Melo. Melo is very over, you know, like there is a lot of promise with Melo, but that does come with the proper booking, all right? Like Obafemi, like, oh man, I really hope he doesn't get put into like some stupid fucking vortex. Like Obafemi, Trick Williams, Javon Evans, Powerhouse Hobbs to a certain extent. These are people who need to be elevated immediately, all right? They don't need to just dwell in developmental. Like this is just not, it's not beneficial for them. So hopefully we'll get Powerhouse Hobbs on SmackDown. And I mean, oh man, I don't know, guys. I'm not hopeful. I'm not hopeful for WWE's fucking production and black talent. I think, like, I don't know if you are. That's foolish. I don't know, man. I don't know. And then it's like politics. Like, why would you go there? Oh man, but whatever. You know, I guess nobody can say that AEW doesn't make stars anymore, because now that is now Mariah May, Ricky Starks, and Powerhouse Hobbs that the Federation will have hired just off of them having some association with another company. So you can take that how you want to take it, but it's simply the fact of the matter. Next thing we're going to be talking about is the Rascals. The Rascals are going to be on AEW very shortly. That's fine. Fine by me. I mean, again, they're a four-man group, so I don't know exactly where they're going to go, but fuck it, who cares, right? I think Wesley has a lot to offer any wrestling promotion that he's a part of. I easily can see him, you know, taking up a TNT title, maybe even, you know, showing off on a fucking Continental Classic tournament, right? He is capable to do that. So I believe his name is Xavier Desmond. You know, we'll try to see what we can get from him and the other members of the Rascals, right? Because, you know, there is a lot of opportunity for you to just get over naturally with the fans, right? You can look at a Max Caster, right? You can look at somebody, you know, even like The Demand, somebody who's in this match kind of later in, like somebody who's in this show, somebody who's on this card later in the night, you know, they have established themselves with the crowd in their own characters, and they've kind of just made it work, right? And it's kind of just made it work, right? With the right playing time, anything can happen. So we'll see what the Rascals can offer to the dub, all right? Like, to the dub, all right? And last little piece of news we're going to be talking about, Mascara Dorada and Persephone have signed dual contracts to CMML and AEW. So we're going to be getting a lot more Persephone. Who's upset at that? Nobody. Also, Mascara Dorada was one of the highlights of All Out with Konosuke Takeshita and Kazuchika Okada. So, I mean, hey, I'm really happy about this. Really happy. All right, so we are going to be getting directly into Dynamite. All right, a little upset I couldn't watch this live again, prior duties, but it is what it is. Shit happens. All right. Pac versus Darby Allin was a really good starting match. A really good starting match. The entire story of Darby Allin just having to just again like climb from under his massive injuries, and kind of just climb from under this massive kind of climb to overcome this massive hurdle that is Pac, right? It was really interesting. It was very ECW coded. I'm kind of shocked that nobody played it at all, but I mean, that's fine. Honestly, I don't believe this was no disqualification. I believe it's no disqualification. No disqualification match to open the night. So I was expecting a blade or something like that, but I mean, it was fine. No issue with that. There was a stair spot where Darby Allin got German suplexed. Well, Darby Allin got a belly-to-belly into the steel steps, and that kind of laid the groundwork for Darby Allin for the rest of the night. I also really liked the comms, like Bryan Danielson and Excalibur, Tony Schiavone. They're just really entertaining on the comms when it comes to specific matches, and they really sell the match to the best of their ability. I was really confused for a second because the arena is very cloudy, it's very smoky, all right? It was like 420 Carnage or some shit. I don't know what that was, but Pac is honestly a great wrestler. He's a great wrestler. He he pushes the limit. He really gets some amazing offense off for at least like 10 straight minutes on Darby. The ref kind of gets in his face like, you're pushing it, you're pushing it, right? Because Pat gets like a 5 count on the ropes. Listen, the ref is really entertaining. He also plays a part in kind of the end of this match where Pac uses him to kind of as his body shield. With that, the ref goes out. This allows Darby Allin after finally getting some offense off. And by the way, the offense that they get off is like crazy. Like Darby Allin and Pac like really dislike each other, bro. Like the offense that they get off is sick, right? But it's really hard hitting, really stiff. And honestly, I'm surprised that nobody walked away with like any further injuries. Pac was like selling his ankle for a little bit. It was kind of like weird how the universe works because Daniel Bryanson mentioned the ankle, and then Pac kind of fell on the ankle a little weird after like taunting on the ropes, if you would. Really interesting how that played out. But this led to, again, Darby Allin getting some really brutal, really gruesome offense off. A couple of, some really gruesome offense off. He ends up hitting, his down. Darby Allin hits Pac with a coffin drop onto the chair. Like it's a coffin drop onto his ankle with the chair wrapped around the ankle. So after this, in a Scorpion Deathlock, Darby, he puts away this match, finally going over on Pac. But again, I feel like the Death Riders are still trying to do this whole like face to heel thing, so I'm not really too sure exactly what the vision is with that. But again, Darby does go over clean, and that's really that for this match. I didn't hate it, but honestly, like these guys like really hated each other. Like they really dislike each other. And I was like kind of like physically cringing during some of these spots. I was like, fuck, man, fuck. Like there's an awesome bomb onto the ramp, and I was like, Jesus fucking Christ. Like, all right, but I mean that's the opening match. All right, next match we get the Bounty Hunter, right, and Brian Keith versus the Cowboy. All right, Hangman Adam Page. All right, Brian Keith definitely deserved these minutes, and he definitely made everything worth it. Definitely on the shorter side of the spectrum when it comes to matches, but it was really good match from both of these two gentlemen. The gear from Hangman is really nice. It's a great finish. Also, Big Bill, he keeps involving himself in the match. And Swerve Strickland, he eventually comes out to save Hangman. I really need Hangman versus Big Bill one of these days. That match would go fucking insane. But this is a really cool match. Again, Brian Keith, he makes every moment count. Definitely deserved this fucking playing time. And after this match, we get a segment from Kenny Omega, Swerve Strickland, and Hangman Adam Page, which I actually liked a lot. I liked it a lot. It was actually very entertaining. Right, it was a really nice couple of moments. There was Hangman just being like really ecstatic that Kenny Omega was just in the ring with him. Swerve was really antagonistic towards Kenny Omega, being that he has had a lot to conquer to get towards the world title championship with Samoa Joe, with MJF, with Hangman even, right? So there's just a lot of things that he kind of feels about this part of the story, but he is the only person who isn't happy in this ring. Kenny is he's saying that he's happy to be back, and he is ready to prove himself as somebody who is able to carry the AEW championship. He's ready to make more TV appearances. Essentially, so with this, he inserts himself into the contendership for the world title later down the line. So with this, he inserts himself into the title contendership later down the line, hypothetically, for the next couple of future pay-per-views. What the interesting part of this is Don Callis. Don Callis, he comes out after Hangman and Swerve, they leave and everything kind of, the dust settles essentially. And again, this starts with Hangman and Swerve kind of just saying like, hey MJF, we know that you're watching, right? So best believe we are coming for you, which is an insane line from Swerve, by the way. After this, Kenny comes out. He not only goats MJF, but he goats in the Don Callis family, essentially, because they come out and there's almost a match on the spot. But and then I kind of break all that down and say, I assume that we would be getting Andrade versus Kenny sometime soon. I assume that that's something that we'll be getting almost immediately. But if we were getting Andrade versus like Angelico on Collision, which is like okay, all right. I really don't know how to fucking feel about that one. But Josh Alexander, he comes out again after kind of calling out MJF alongside Hangman and Swerve, and he says to Kenny Omega like, hey, Don Callis says on behalf of Josh Alexander, like, hey, I have the guy who did all this terrible shit. How about you wrestle him instead of trying to MJF? Yeah. Kenny responds saying that Don Callis, if he's really about that, then he could give the fine people of Phoenix, Arizona a match right here, right now, right? Which is something that Josh Alexander seems like he's very excited to do. Don Callis, he pumps the brakes and he says, no, you'll get a match when we say you get a match. So Josh Alexander versus Kenny Omega, we're kind of running that back, I guess. I don't know why, but that's what we're going to be getting sometime soon. Not the happiest about that, honestly. I'm not the happiest about that, but it is what it is. Next we get a standby match between Brody King and Cruz, who is a part-time manager for MJF. This just gives Brody King an excuse to just beat the fuck out of him, right? Which is actually kind of funny. He was like, hey man, we got a match, so I would get dressed for you. I don't know, it was silly little producing. I didn't hate it. Next little match, all right, we get a four-way match between the Don Callis family, the Demand, the Young Bucks, and the Jet Speeders. All right, this is a very, very quick, very fast-paced match. A lot of people probably won't like the choreography of this match, but I loved it. All right, I think that all of these acts play to their strengths. The big guys spots, the quick guy spots. There was even moments where the faces and the heels were like trading off on each other, which is always good to see. For a while there was solid like 50-50 between like the face and the heels, just trying to find ground in this match. But the heels eventually, they did end up taking over for a good portion. Davis and Doyle, Don Callis and Ricochet also on these comms were frying me. This shit was so fucking funny, bro. I literally couldn't fucking believe what the fuck I was listening to. Ricochet after Ricochet after Tyron Lona, he hits a moonsault. He literally just corpses. Like, he corpses on live television for like a straight half of a fucking minute, and it was hilarious. So fucking funny. But I mean, again, the athleticism from all of these teams, from the Demand, from Davis and Doyle, from the Young Bucks, it was good shit. It was entertaining. I assumed that a fucking run-in was happening, because the camera cut to a guy in a hoodie racing towards the ring, and it was a fucking cameraman. Bro, the production on this fucking show, sometimes it baffles me. It really fucking baffles me, bro. It was fucking crazy. But I really like to see in the future Don Castle versus Jack Something. I think that would be a really good match. Also, great debut for Jack Something, or Jack Doyle, whatever he wants to call himself, and Mark Davis, for the AEW Airwaves. Really fun shit from that. Again, they do end up going over. But I really didn't hate this match. There was a really cool spot where Speedball Mike Bailey hits an Ultimate Weapon, while Tyler Leone, he does a double fireman carry for the Young Bucks. So that was pretty fucking nice. And also Jet Speed versus the Young Bucks have amazing chemistry. Jack Perry, he flies out of left field to attack Ricochet, and after that we see that and after that we just race towards the finish where Jack Doyle and Mark Davis, they end up putting the beat down on Kevin Knight. Whoop-de-doo-doop-de-dee. 1, 2, 3. They don't have an exact finisher set yet, but I mean, it was cool. It was a cool little finish to this match. I wasn't upset at it. Them getting put over, it is what it is. It is what it is. I can't be too pissy about it. Next match on the card, which is definitely one of the quicker ones, shockingly, is a trios match with the Babes of Wrath, the Stat Daddy, and the Triangle of Madness. So, one really quick thing I thought about while watching this match, I really miss Queen of Minute and Thekla matches. I really do. Thekla is an amazing performer, and I just miss really stiff hard-hitting matches. Not like she can't give those exact performances with these ladies, because theoretically she can, but you know, with the Harley Cameron, or even with like the time constraints, I doubt she could really get in her bag like she would really like to. But I mean, like, for a good portion of this match, was just Harley Cameron getting the shit smacked out of her. You know, all respect to Harley, but I mean, that's pretty much what this match was. I thought that these two ladies in Thekla and Chris Statlander were going to be fighting tonight, but I mean, I guess not. You know, again, I love seeing Willow, but you know, I would have also loved a title defense from Thekla. All right, I mean, I would have loved the title defense from Chris Statlander. I think that just makes the brand strong. I think that just makes the brand stronger. That makes the title stronger, and I think that just makes the champion more worthy of holding the belt. Right. Same thing with like Jade. Right. Want to see Jade defend that title and show that she's actually worthy of holding the strap. Right. Some people may disagree with that, but I mean, at this point, that's kind of just like wrestling politics. Right. Next little thing that we are going to be talking about. Right. I didn't hate that Chris Statlander got the pin, because that is setting up something for pay-per-view. And I understand that, you know, doing a title change on just a quote-unquote random Dynamite, it does look bad for Chris Statlander's championship run. But I mean, like, Thekla, it's a really smooth curve stomp. Even like the idea of you know, Willow Nightingale kind of even the idea of Chris Statlander sacrificing herself for Willow Nightingale and the history that they have to take the pin. You know, it's good, it's solid storytelling, but I don't know. So something in me is itching for this Thekla and Chris Statlander match, and I don't know when the fuck we're gonna get it. And I assumed we were gonna be getting it tonight, but maybe we're going to be getting it for the next pay-per-view, whenever that is, however we get it. All right, now last match on the card, a worthy main event if there ever was one. All right, we get MJF, the douchebag, versus Bandino, the hometown hero. All right, this match takes place shortly after we get the Swerving Cowboys and Swerve Strickland and Hangman Adam Page, setting up a trios match, most likely between Hook, Shibata, and Samoa Joe. This will obviously probably lead to Hangman Adam Page and Jet Speed picking up the titles. Swerve Strickland said that Kevin Knight is the future of AEW, something that I told you niggas 3 weeks ago. So there's that. You know, there's that, right? So I really love this match between MJF and Bandino. Honestly, if you guys like really want to talk about it, MJF is damn near like a luchador, and I know this sounds crazy, right? But has amazing, like, god tier crowd work, right? He is really fast in that, like, he's extremely fast paced, right? Like, he can be technical when he needs to be, but he moves like a speeding bullet, right? And with all of this, he has not only wrestled Mystico, a pretty prominent, if you want to, I mean, to be as respect, a pretty prominent luchador, and Bandino, and he has had like 5 matches with both of them, and I really do like the idea of MJF being a recurring bad guy, if you would, like a recurring heel for luchadors. You know, I think on a simple disrespect factor, he clears all of those fucking he clears all of those fucking he clears all those markers, and I really do believe that MJF, deep down, he really does love the idea of, like, he really does love wrestling luchadors, right? And I really do believe that deep down, MJF, like, knows some of his best matches can be with a luchador, and it's really cool, right? It's a really fun shit from both of these guys. It's a solid 50-50 for a good portion of the match, but Bandino's arm does become the story, where MJF, you know, once he starts playing dirtier, Bandino's arm gets most of the attacks, right? After this, it's a really solid climb from Bandino to get some offense off. He gets off a really good amount of offense, but in short, MJF, he ends up picking up the victory with a Salt of the Earth and a yes lock. This leaves MJF victorious. Bandino passes out, but with this match, right? I mean, even from the starting bell with Bandino going for like a quick roll-up, MJF acknowledges that this guy is nothing to, he realizes that Bandino is nothing to snub your nose at, like nothing at all. He gives everything he has to try to put over MJF, and it doesn't work. And even with Bandino's defeat, MJF acknowledges that Bandino will one day become AEW champion. For this, he has to attack, and rough up Bandino a little more, but it's a very good match. And honestly, I think anybody who's interested in AEW, I would show them this match. I think this is a great, I think it's a great title defense, and I think it is a great example of character work in AEW. You know, Bandino, you know, a guy who never gives up, you know, at times a lone gunman, all right, and MJF, you know, the scum of the earth, the devil, you know, somebody who, you know, one of his main attacks is, you know, teabagging somebody, right? Like that is somebody who you want to boo. That is somebody who you want to lose. Somebody that you want to despise, and like that is somebody that you want to despise. And I think MJF, he does a great job at it. Again, and I'll say it till I'm blue in the face, I really do believe that some of his best matches really shine with like luchador style wrestling. So, you know, for that he gets a luchador honorary pass from your boy Cappy. But that was really Dynamite, Maximum Carnage, April, like that was Maximum Carnage, all right, January 15th, 2020, like January 14th, 2026. I had a great time watching this Dynamite, and honestly, I wish I could have caught it live, but you know, it is what it is. Shit happens, right? I will be here to be I will be here for a shotgun review. I will be giving a shotgun review. Of Friday Night SmackDown and a hypothetical Avatar 2 movie review. Who knows with that one, man. Right? But again, really good Dynamite, and something that would fix off the board, like something I would fix off the rip. I would have had FTR lose to Davison Doyle the first time, and then had FTR win the second time, just to put over Davison Doyle in a great fashion, right? Instead of just like a massive 8-man tag. Also would have had Decker versus Chris. Those are two things I would have changed immediately. But I mean, again, everything that we got, I wasn't too pissy at, right? That's me, your boy. All right, that's pretty much everything from me. All right, as I always say, all right, you guys stay tuned, stay safe, stay beautiful. All right, peace.